Katashi, Shizuka, and I made our way inside. Everyone's already helped themselves to a buffet of muesli, fresh fruit, and porridge. Muesli. I grabbed a bowl of banana muesli with some chilled milk and sat down on one of the empty seats next to Sora.
Good morning. Sleep well.
As much as I can. Had a toss and turning of the greatest nightmares I've ever had. How about you? Fine, thanks. I wasn't really in a mood for pleasantries, so I returned to my muesli. Sora seemed content to lead me to my thoughts. By and by the table was filled with empty bowls and fruit peels, and amid the idle breakfast chatter, the captain rose to her feet as the head of the table addressed the group. The sudden hush fell over the room as all eyes turned toward her. Well, here comes the vote, I assume.
No doubt many of you are anxious. There's little I can do to put those feelings at ease. All I ask is that you treat each other with respect, as fellow crew members of the Everett. We are the best humanity has to offer. And as such, we must hold ourselves to higher standards. The Deletion Game is brutish, but that doesn't mean that we have to be. Fight fairly, play honorably, and have faith that we will overcome these trials.
Captain, may I speak freely?
Please.
Okay.
As the captain said, we are the Everett's crew. We must remember that we have a greater purpose here.
To find a new home for humankind.
We have a duty to the human race to see our mission through. And to do that, we need to make sure we have the crew that is best qualified for the job.
Oh, yay.
Shizuka has created a strategy that allows us to vote on the loser of the game.
It's pretty simple, really. First, we discuss and vote on who should be eliminated. Then that person must swap cards with number 5. Everyone else would then pair up with their corresponding numbers to make 10. 1 with 9, 2 with 8, and 4 with 6.
If we agree to this plan, everyone would need to be involved in the discussion, and be willing to sacrifice themselves in the event that they lost the vote.
Yeah, I doubt people are gonna go with that.
It's certainly not a perfect plan, and at the end of the day, we'd still be sentencing someone to death, regardless of how we arrived at that decision. But it would get the job done.
Depending on people's demeanors about this, depends on how my vote will go in.
That's ludicrous. Why would anyone ever choose to cooperate if they lost?
Pride. Honor.
Is this even allowed? Wouldn't Di protest?
I think she doesn't care as long as someone, is dead and doesn't break the rules.
I do not believe that this plan contradicts any of the game's rules. The rules of Make 10 do not prevent disclosure of numbers or coordinated pairings.
No, it doesn't mention that at all.
I'd rather not. Nicholas and I are doing perfectly fine on our own. Don't think you can drag us into your petty little scheme. We see right through it. You're just trying to expose everyone's numbers so that you can screw them over.
Oh, yay.
I have to agree with my sister on this one. We'd also be putting ourselves at considerable risk, given the fact that we are the only profession on board that has 2 officers.
Oh, yeah. I quickly read through part of the stuff in that, what was it, they had 15 or 16 crew members in AI in this board, but for some reason, more people, were lost, and some, are you saying you're only 2 medical professionals? I read on the computer. Where is it? Speak of the Everett. The different crew. Ayumu, Zaguro, Yukamori, Charles Henry, Joseph Westwood, Sora Carmine. So, medical... Where is Sora? I forgot. Sora helps with navigation. And science is Vladimir. And I don't think I've seen Amanda. Research, medical. Agnes, Helga, and Andres Gunther Vogel. Where exactly is Nicholas in them? Unless they had different names. Lying with their names just like that. Agriculture. Sasaki. Could someone be lying with their professions here too? Oh boy.
Everyone here is important. There's no way I could ever choose between my friends.
Even if I'm not really close enough to be your friend. Yoshiki. I'm actually going to the list to see everyone's. Yoshiki. There's not any. Some of them have first names, and some of them don't have last names. So, oh boy, Yoshiki. No. Support the idea, don't support the idea. Voting friends off. Honestly, can't do that. Like, technically, emotionally, yeah, sure, but now I literally can't. It seemed like the idea wasn't very popular among the group. Nothing I can say that wouldn't sound like it was moved by self-preservation, so I decided to stay quiet. Mostly just in terms of, like later on, it's gonna be the whole fact of, like, I want to keep my family alive, so I just can't support the idea of, like, you know, maybe I misunderstood the context. No way I can avoid, like, save my friends. I was going against that idea. Because that's, like, based on this game is gonna go, like, even if everyone groups, like, with someone they're close to, like, immediately, it's just that the groups are gonna be, like, even more harder to make as the things go along. And right now, you'd be forced to pair with, like, people, like, you know, who can make up, like, you know, for 10 students, you'd be forced to group with someone which you probably don't like or something like that, so it's gonna keep on going until whatever this AI dies, it's like, you know, meets the population quota.
The thought is appreciated, Shizuka, but it seems as though the majority of the crew is against the idea. We will continue playing the deletion game as we have been until now. Dismissed.
I was still exhausted from yesterday's investigation, not to mention the mental strain of not knowing whether I would live or die tomorrow. Only a few days in, and the deletion game had already begun to take its toll. I collapsed on my bed, fully clothed. What the hell was I going to do tomorrow? Could I trust the Vogels to stay true to their word? Would I be safer going with Katashi and Suzuka? There was little I could do but wait for tomorrow. Unless... The captain's kind offer from this morning, something came to mind. Oh, did we just talk to everyone in the crew? Okay, that was all the cast, so maybe I miscounted. I wondered whether I should turn in early to clear my head for tomorrow, or if I should head over to the captain's quarters for a council. Well, because basically every single person, like, we told our number to almost everyone. Almost. So, like, yay, secrets. Kimiko's quarters, like... Talk to her or not? Don't actually know what we talk about, technically speaking. So... well, I'm kind of a bit curious. If anyone could help me, it was the captain. When she visited me early this morning, she had a gentleness about her that I hadn't seen before. For whatever reason, she genuinely seemed to want to keep me safe. It can't do any harm, right? I swung out of bed, exited my quarters, and moved quickly down the corridor. I didn't particularly want to be seen visiting the captain at this hour. It might suggest something untoward. Reaching her door, I buzzed her intercom.
Come in.
Flames. One in the ceiling. I guess, like, all of them might be situated to, like, different people's situations than that. The captain's room had the same basic layout as mine, but hers looked much more comfortable. It had a distinct lived-in feel, whereas mine still looked sterile, the room of a stranger. What do you expect? The captain was sitting on the sofa, reading something on her digital display. She pulled the tablet shut in her lap as I approached and sat down next to her.
I'm glad you came over.
I need to talk to somebody. I don't know what to do.
This hasn't been an easy situation for any of us. In some ways, you have it the easiest. The person you see die tomorrow hasn't been your friend for a lifetime.
Oh, yay. True, but then again, I'll never get a chance to know them at all then.
It's hard to know which is worse.
Yay.
Was there something you wanted to talk about?
To be honest, I just want to see what you have to say. Man, let's talk about ladies. We just are just talking normally. At this point, like, you can't really match up with her anyways, like, for, like, going around in circles. Or, I wonder what conversation will lead her to talk about, I guess, the Vogels. Probably to just talk, but, No, let's just talk. Well, anything about Deletion Game. It's all anyone's talked about since I got here. Let's talk about something else. Tell me about yourself.
There's nothing to tell.
You're a captain. Case dismissed. I'm not asking you to tell me all your secrets. Just tell me one little thing. What do you do for fun?
Well, sometimes I... No, you'll laugh.
I laugh at everything. Don't worry about it. Depends on how... I won't laugh. Tell me.
Promise not to laugh?
Not from this side of the screen. If I laughed, I'll only do it on the inside. And I'll do it full force.
Well, I like to knit sometimes.
That's not laughable at all. Really? That's it? Why would I laugh?
I usually get old lady jokes by the dozen.
Okay, that makes sense now. I think it's cool. What was it? Like, my sister likes to do stitching. Well, Can't remember the last time she did so. Maybe it was just a one-off thing to learn about it.
Cottage cheese spins leftover wool into yarn for me, and I use it to make, well, whatever I want, really. Scarves, ties, gloves, blankets. I find it relaxing. No responsibility, no pressure. Just me and some yarn.
Yarn. Do you take requests? Do you take commissions? I don't know why I find the word yarn so funny right now.
I'm sorry?
I don't really have any comfortable clothing. I only had this uniform and a pair of pajamas. It was just a thought.
I have been meaning to try out a pattern for a long-sleeved sweater vest.
Sweater vest? What does that look like? Wait 1 second. Sweater vest, because my sense in fashion is dwindling. Well, it's not going any higher since I have little knowledge to it, so it's just stagnant right now. Sweater vest. Oh, one of those things. Long-sleeved. Yeah, sure. That could work. If you need someone to model it, I'd be happy to volunteer.
We'll see.
After the voting happens, okay. A pleasant silence fell between us for a minute. Well, I better get going. Well, thanks for talking with me.
My door is always open.
Oh boy, I'm the pillar of morality based on how all my jokes are going, huh? Good night, Captain.
Good night.
I was gonna actually think she was actually saying the name, so maybe that's the reason why. Good night, Bob. I left the captain's quarters in a daze, arriving back in my room seemed like seconds. Maybe that's why it's like named like that. Whole naming in the voice acting thing, like sort of. It is romance, so yeah. I guess it. You can tell it's our room because forced. My body felt like it was on autopilot, moving its own volition as my mind wandered. Finally, reaching my quarters, I sat into bed and went right to sleep.
Bing bong, bing bong. It's time for all competitors to wake up.
I thought you said computer for a second, and I was like, I am no one's machine, you. Alright, I'm awake already.
Bing bong, it's time for all competitors to wake up.
How do I turn you off?
Well, if you must know, disassembled computer parts put me right out of the mood. Whips and leather, on the other hand.
I doubt there's a warehouse to help you satiate desire so you can leave me alone for the rest of my life. That's not what I meant, and you know it. Die. How do I turn the alarm off?
The magic word is banana.
Okay. Banana!
Command accepted. Alarm shutting off.
Di did a poor impression of a robot, bending her arms and moving them up and down in a stilted fashion. Glitch. Her impression was emphatically concluded by her impression of shutting down, complete with a crooked neck and her left arm swaying at the elbow. It looked like an old-fashioned dance move my father would have pulled off. That is to say, it was a poor show. Are you done?
Good morning.
Good nom morning. Huh.
Well, it's that time again, folks. Fighting for your life has never been so much fun. Come join us in the dining hall. The second round of the Deletion Game is about to begin.
Oh, that makes sense. Oh, yeah, the first round. Yeah, for them, it's, yeah. For us, it's the first. Oh, boy. I'm wondering how it got down from 16 crew members to 10. Unless some of these people actually had different names, then somehow people just like left the mission for something else. Maybe I'm reading that menu wrong in the computer. I'll be there in a moment. No, please leave me alone.
You're pretty grumpy in the morning, you know that? Has anyone ever told you that you're not much of a morning person?
I'm not a morning person. You expect me to function? I heard that if you drink orange juice, like by the gallon, it'll help get rid of the cranky mood. Life tips. Which, I don't know if it's true or not, because I don't know the science behind orange juice, so... Unless you need to drink any other kind of colors, then go for it. Instead of orange juice, drink red juice, or yellow juice, or purple juice. But I suggest drinking blue juice. I heard rainbow juice is especially great this time of year. Okay, I should probably stop.
Here's the slowpoke. You sure took your sweet time, didn't ya? Now that everyone's here, let the fun begin.
I had to take a shower, you know. As Dai's exclamation, the surface of the dining table was overlaid with 4 holographic terminals, one on each side of the table. We all gathered close to a nearby terminal to have a look. The one before me had 2 distinct areas. On the left was a blank card. The right-hand side of the terminal was dominated by an outline of a hand.
From this point onwards, transactions will take place in the dining hall. Parties involved in a transaction must be declared to me before entering the room, and only those involved in the transaction may enter this room.
Okay, so if everyone has to leave, then they have to say, I want to do a transaction. So I guess the second we leave this room to go with the rules, we just decide Vogel or going with the other two. Leaning more towards the chef linguist right now.
Any attempt to force your way in or otherwise interfere with the transaction will result in instant elimination.
Oh, yay.
Once players have entered the dining hall, they must choose who will control the transaction by using the primary terminal. The primary terminal is the one in front of the phallic statue.
Phallic statue, that one in the back, right to your right, the right of you.
Come on over and have a look.
Away from the statue. We all made our way to the primary terminal to verify Dai's information. She wasn't lying. The left-hand side of the primary terminal contained an additional section with 3 choices labeled: combined, trade, give.
To use a terminal, you must place your hand on the holographic screen. Once your handprint has been verified, your card number will appear on screen. If you have 2 cards, both will appear.
Is there a limit to how many cards one person can hold?
The person at the primary terminal must then choose which transaction they wish to perform. The players stationed at passive terminals can see which action is chosen, but are unable to see the card numbers of other players participating in the transaction.
So only the person who's doing the primary terminal, the secondaries are just for participation. You get participation points. Woo!
Results of a combined transaction will not be known until judgment phase. The only information that will be displayed is who you have combined with and the total score.
I'm getting the words, but usually I don't completely follow along with all these rules until I see it in action, so... Well, that's my way of tutorials in that. So... This game is just going completely words and not show off, which I doubt. Then it's gonna be, I have to come back to this later on, and yay.
Results of a trade or give transaction will be noticeable during any following transaction, as your card number or amount will have either increased or decreased. In order to make sure that no one can see your card while you are transacting, each terminal has thick holographic walls.
Oh, so just project it all around us? Okay.
No one can know your card number unless you tell them. After all, half of the fun has been watching all of you lie to each other. I am available outside of the dining hall at any time should you need me to repeat these instructions or answer any other questions you may have. You have 1 hour to complete your transactions.
Oh, yay.
I wish you all the best of luck. Now clear out. It's time to get the show on the road.
What road? This is space. Dai ushered us out in the hallway. Suddenly, all of Pretense Felloway's alliances grouped together publicly to finalize their strategies. Kimiko and Yoshiki, Nicholas and Beatrix, Shizuka and Katashi, Vladimir, Sora, and Melody. There I was, standing alone. I need to decide who I was going to pair up with fast. Groups stood in staggered clusters in the length of the hallway, all keeping a watchful eye on the group door to the dining hall. None seemed willing to take the first move. Abruptly, Kimiko and Yoshiki broke off from the others and approached the hologram guard in the dining hall.
Yoshiki and I would like to use a transaction terminals die.
Very well. This way, please.
Make your way, have fun walking in the red carpet. As soon as the two of them entered the dining hall, the door slid shut behind them. The audible click of the door's locking mechanism conveyed a clear message to the rest of the crew. We are not allowed to enter under any circumstances. Everyone else was trying to finish their arrangements as quickly as possible. The longer you wait in the game, the more likely the other players are to partner up or swap with someone else. This was at the moment of truth. I decided to sacrifice myself, do nothing, hope for the best. Pair with Beatrix and Nicholas. Just the pop. Oh, so this is what we look like from... Do nothing, hope for the best? Let's see if we can talk to them about it then, to be honest. Made my mind. I would partner with Katashi and Suzuka. Their altruistic desire to put the mission first is a deeply respectable one. In terms of morality and, I guess, logical emotion. Logical emotion, that's a terminology to put it. It makes the most sense, I guess. They're trying to make the best of the possible situation, appealing to a reasoned intent to prevent the crew from descending into anarchy, and I admire them for that. Although there's the thing in my mind about why would you lie about grouping up with someone? Like, why would you lie about your numbers if you trying to get together this? Like, if you, like, get someone into a group, like a group of 3, for instance, like in this case, you have all 3 of you together, do you just want, like, do you and this person just want to, like, die and take one person with you? Because that wouldn't make any sense. Unless you're really that suicidal, like... Unless one of the people in the group is actually lying about their number, and then, wants to kill the other person who wants to join the group. Yay. That's, one way to put it. Katashi and Suzuka stood quite close to the door. They greeted me with smiling faces. Hey guys, does that offer to team up still stand by any chance?
It sure does.
We're glad you've decided to trust us. You won't regret it, I promise.
I hope so.
It looks like the dining hall is going to be crowded for a while, though. Shall we come back in half an hour?
Sure.
We do have a bit of time left, and if we stay together, you know...
It keeps us from having to think about how one of us is gonna die.
That's not how I would have said it, but yeah, that's the gist of it.
Go completely blunt and straightforward. That's my motto.
Woohoo! I vote we kill time by playing video games.
Please, not anything but Call of Duty. Like, oh god, no.
Shizuka, you can play after we're done. Right now, we should all just try to get some peace and quiet. Let's head to the Eco Lounge.
Time for some lounging in Ecology Centaur. Fine by me. The Eco Lounge was the perfect place to get away from it all. The proverbial eye of the storm. In spite of the tense situation they found themselves in, this place seemed still managed to feel pure somehow. A tranquil sanctity, only a brisk walk away from the Deletion Game, and now I first saw someone's gonna die here and ruin that peaceful feeling. We wiled away 40 minutes in casual conversations. We lay on our backs in soft grass, watching the star trip overhead. Oh, that's my favorite star. Which one? That one. That one? No, go put your finger over a bit more. To the left or right? To your left. That's your right, you dingus. By the time we returned, the hallway was empty. It seemed as though everyone had either finished their business or decided to regroup elsewhere.
Yahoo! Are you all here to use the transaction terminals?
What's a terminal?
Yes. Shizuka, myself, and the newbie.
Okie dokie, Artichoke. You have 10 minutes to complete the transaction, at which time you will be forcibly removed from the dining room.
Shoo, 10 minutes are up. Go. As soon as we entered the room, the door closed behind us with a loud metallic clang. We had agreed earlier that Shizuka would be in charge of the primary terminal. Spending some time with them in the Eco Lounge had removed any lingering doubts in my mind. I knew they wouldn't betray me. I knew it in my heart. My heart of hearts, or my second heart? Wait, I'm the true alien here. I made my way to the terminal opposite Katashi. When I stepped in from the terminal, the front and side walls prevented me from seeing anything. All my attention was focused on the screen. Whatever happened here would determine my future. The sensation of placing my hand on something that wasn't physically there felt very surreal. Putting all your stock into something digital. How do people feel about that? Putting all their money into something digital. That's a whole discussion of addiction and all that stuff I don't want to get into this short time. I'm expecting to feel a slight electric vibration, but there was nothing. My terminal beeped as my handprint was verified as my own. Electric vibration. Okay. The terminal changed to display my name and my card number. A lonely 5. Sad. Oh yeah! What was it like? 5 is technically like the most even of the odd numbers. Don't know why it came to my head, but it's true. On my screen, I could see the word combine light up as it was selected. In a moment, the readout changed to 5 plus Shizuka and Katashi, and it was done. We were officially allied.
Congratulations! Your transaction has been completed. Judgment will occur in 8 minutes. Thank you for participating in the deletion game.
Hi. You got it. I'm still just wondering why, We exit the dining hall into an empty corridor.
I am glad that's over with. I don't think I've ever said that about a game before.
Gamer. What was that? Like, thinking back to the rules now, like, thinking back, does that mean if we have, like, a whole entire group of people... Wait, the rules didn't specify, like, what happens if you go over the number. Because all the rules say that if everyone, like, has to get closer to 10, and then the person with the lowest card gets killed off. What happens if someone gets the most highest number in the game? Does that mean the group with the lowest number from then on gets killed off? Or basically anyone who goes higher than 10 gets killed off? Well, if everyone is higher than 10, that means the person who has the lowest card number that is gonna be dead, so, oh yay.
This isn't just a bunch of Pixars on a screen, Shizuka.
Pixars? We're not talking about an animation studio here, we're talking about video games. Video games.
You mean pixels?
That too.
Whatever. The point is, it's not a game.
In a sense it is. Well, I think it's about time for results. Quick talk.
Extra, extra! Be sharp, sing on rooftop. Attention, attention.
What is this music?
This round of the deletion game has come to an end. All participants are to meet in the dining room at once.
What is this music for this? Dai's voice thundered through the ship. I froze. The moment I've been dreading had finally arrived.
You'd all better hurry. I'm not going to wait to announce the results, you know.
You can, though. I closed my eyes, inhaled, and exhaled deeply. I was as ready as I ever was gonna be.
It's judgment time, everyone. If you'll all take a look up here, I've created a handy holographic scoreboard for your viewing convenience. You can thank me later.
Okay.
In a minute, this board will display everyone's final results. Keep in mind, the numbers of each individual player in the group will not be displayed, only their combined scores.
Numbers of each individual player will not be displayed. Okay.
After all, what's done is done.
My heart was pounding so hard against the inside of my chest that it threatened to burst to pieces at any moment. Shallow, rapid breaths were all I can muster, so I clenched my eyes shut, horrified to see my fate sealed and glowing in the letters and numbers.
I'm just so excited for you all to find out the results. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Showtime. Oh boy. 13. Wow. Yep, well they lied. Oh, you had the number. Oh. Okay. Oh, you gave your card to Vladimir. Oh. So, 8 and 4. And the combination of that would be 7 and 6. Yeah, so too, you lied. Yeah. Never trust the flirty people. Oh, yeah. Trying to figure out. They were telling the truth about 2 and 5. You would have 1 and 9? Yeah, just think so. I was safe. I was safe. I wasn't gonna die. A tremendous wave of relief washed over me. I knew people who played cakes or played video games couldn't be that bad. Katashi, Suzuki, and all I had glowing 10s above our names. Most of my eyes searched further along the score, but I saw it. Sora had a 0.
What is the meaning of this, Dai? You got our scores wrong. Why else would my wife have 0? Tell me this instant.
Vladimir stormed up to the hologram, demanding explanation. His once kind face was distorted by it with rage, a deep crimson color crawling up his neck as he hurled a string of expletives at Dai.
Hush now, love. Let me explain.
You gave your card to him.
Mommy, what's going on? Why is Daddy yelling?
Oh no.
Everything's fine, sweetheart.
Oh God, this can't be happening. Not again. I won't let you take the person I love away from me. You'll have to take me apart piece by piece before I let you touch a hair on this woman's head.
How dare you accuse me of cheating? You must play by the rules, human, and so must I. It's not wrong, Vladimir. Please, honey, don't do this in front of Melody.
Maybe we should turn Melody around, not to see what's gonna happen.
Who did this? Did one of you trick her into doing this? I can't strangle the hologram, but I can still bloody well strangle one of you lot.
Oh yay. Vladimir whipped around the room like a hurricane, threatening pain to everyone in the room.
Vladimir, stop, please.
Please don't tell me this is true. This can't be true. I can't lose you.
All eyes were fixed on Vladimir, his fury gradually subsiding under the soothing influence of Sora's calming voice and tender caresses.
I'm so sorry.
Why?
His voice quavered, cracking slightly. It was a hurt voice, the voice of a broken man.
Why would you do this to me? To Melody?
To make sure you stayed alive?
I did this for you. For Melody. And for what's left of the human race. When we signed up for this mission, all those many years ago, we agreed that we would do whatever it took for this mission to succeed. After what happened to Charles, to your wife Amanda, to our friends, I never thought I'd be able to recover.
What? Charles, Amanda. Charles Henry Joseph Westwood Lorenzo Brown. And Amanda Stasovsky. Sister.
Then one day, you made me the worst lamington I'd ever eaten. And then, all at once, I saw you clearly. Between the late-night poker sessions and you letting me steal your chocolate rations, I realized that I loved you. And that I loved you for some time. But that doesn't change the mission.
I don't care about the mission.
Yes, you do. That's just the disbelief talking. You know that we still have a duty to this ship. That this is bigger than you or I. That's why I did it. I'm the most replaceable crew member. I've passed on everything I know to Shizuka. But you still have a job to do.
Shizuka.
Our little Melody. She's going to be a scientist, just like her father. And she'll pass down that knowledge to her children. And they'll do the same to theirs. You're still necessary to this mission, my love.
I can't do this without you. Please, don't do this.
You can. You will. For Melody's sake.
Vladimir wrapped his arms around his wife and hugged her close to him. The tender embrace, Vladimir conveyed the depths of his love for his wife in a way that transcended all words. He clung to her so closely, so desperately that it was painful to watch. It's possible to shake the sensation that we were intruding on an intensely personal moment.
Mommy, what's going on?
We should lead her away from this room, everyone? Are we gonna go full agreement with that? Sora scooped Melody up in her arms, bringing her to rest up against her hip.
I'm sorry, sweetheart. I have to go away. But Daddy will be here to take care of you and keep you safe. okay?
I don't want you to go.
I know it's going to be difficult, sweetie. But I'm sure that one day you'll understand. Aw, aren't you guys just the cutest? But that's enough of that. Time is money, people. It's time to spin the Wheel of Fatality. Woo!
Wheel of Fatality. The flourish, Dai conjured a sizable holographic wheel split up into labeled sections. I barely managed to read them all before Dai passed judgment. Gravity, airlocks, oxygen, incineration, and spacewalk. Each one sounded more ominous than the last. Within seconds, Dai gave the wheel a hefty spin, and the sections of the wheel blurred into one another. My eyes were fixed on the wheel as it gradually slowed, tick, tick, ticking its way to a standstill as the arrow circled the dial, finally coming to rest on
Incineration.
oh boy.
No time like the present. Let's head on down to the furnace room, shall we?
Can't I just have a few more minutes with my family?
No. Move it, sister. Everyone, follow me. As you'll remember from last time, attendance at executions is mandatory for all players participating in the Deletion Game. Come along now.
Vladimir, you should pick up Melody and make her not look, okay? But yeah, like, I was thinking, like, what's stopping everyone from not, like, you know, going along with it? Like, seeing what happens, like, I guess measures like to take, like, to force along rules, but thinking about AIs and that, have control over how locking ships go, basically just, like, if, like, everyone, like, goes wrong, they just mess with the machinery and then, like, who knows?
I will not allow Melody to watch. I absolutely refuse.
I must agree, Dai. Subjecting a child to the demise of a family member is unbelievably cruel.
Dai spat out her answer through gritted teeth and a plastered-on smile.
Melody is a participant, just like you. I won't bend the rules merely because she's shorter than the rest of you.
That's tallest propaganda if you don't want to do that. Okay, that's dark.
She's a child.
She's a member of this crew. Now, feel free to continue arguing with me, but for every second you push the issue, I'll be decreasing the amount of oxygen flowing into this room.
That can also work.
This is low, Dai. Even for you. Fine. We'll do it your way. It seems we have no choice in the matter.
Nope.
And here I thought a little CO2 poisoning might improve your personality. Maybe next time, eh, Captain?
Aye, aye, Captain. The march to the furnace room was grueling. I'd never seen a person die before. Like any reasonable person. It wasn't something I ever thought I had to see. My stomach revolted at the prospect. My mind felt completely numb. I couldn't even imagine what Sora was going through right now. Sora set a slow pace to the furnace room, dragging the precious time she had left to spend with her family. The sound of Melody's uncontrollable sobbing was the only sound that echoed throughout the bowels of the ship, really dug deeper than I've ever ventured before. Is the incineration room? We fell into the furnace room. The ambient temperature rose with every passing step. The sleep became aware of the gentle crackling of flames. The cavernous room was dominated by the raging fire of the furnace itself, held at bay by a thick pane of reinforced glass. As the last hope of our ship, the lesser group, crossed the threshold, the doorshut behind us was a resounding thud. Even this side of the glass, the heat radiating out from the furnace was overwhelming. Although there was a maintenance access panel looking at the chute emerging from the top of the furnace, this occasion clearly warranted the use of the hinged door cut into the glass.
Here we are, Sora, for losing round 2 of the Deletion Game. You've been sentenced to death by incineration. I must insist that you enter the furnace immediately.
Having the participants do themselves? Oh boy. Forcing along, oh wow.
No one goes out until she goes in and gets a little singed.
Yay.
Company, fall in.
Everyone except Melody and Vladimir immediately formed a regimented line and raised their hands in the salute position. I tried to mimic their actions best I could.
Navigation Officer Sora Carmine. You have served honorably aboard the Everett, and your many contributions to this mission have been indispensable. Your love and compassion for your fellow crew members have made this ship a better place to live. You will be greatly missed. Company, salute.
Salute. The entire line saluted in unison. Sora's smile was incredibly bittersweet. She stood up straight and meaningfully locked eyes with each of us before returning a salute of her own.
It's been a privilege being able to serve alongside such fine men and women. Godspeed, friends.
Sora,
You don't have to say a word. I already know.
Sora and Vladimir shared a deep, lingering kiss.
Goodbye, my love.
In you go, Sora. Clock's a-ticking.
Sora crouched down face to face with Melody, who was clutching her father's lab coat tight in her fist. Melody's face was lined with tears, which continued to flow freely.
Now, Melody, I need you to do something for me, sweetheart. When I step in there, I need you to close your eyes and not open them, no matter what. Do you understand? Don't open your eyes, sweetie.
Well, since everyone can't look away from it, I assume that's the best course we can do, so oh yay.
Okay.
Listen to your father. Be a good girl. Love without measure. I love you, Melody. You're the light of my life. And I hope that one day you'll understand and be able to forgive me. Always remember that I love you. Always.
Sora hugged her daughter one final time, kissed her in the head, forced a smile, and stood up.
I'm ready, Dad.
About time.
I could feel a searing heat in my skin as Sora opened the door to the furnace and stepped inside, shutting the door behind her.
Mommy, don't!
Melody rushed towards the glass, banging her hands against it in desperation as if it only just struck her about what was going to happen. The blades licked at Sora's ankles. She bent down and smiled comfortingly.
It's okay, sweetie. Everything will be fine. Close your eyes, honey.
Come back!
Melody stood dejected. Tears cascaded down her cheeks onto the floor as she stood watching her mother numbly. The tongues of flame had begun to blacken the navigation officer's uniform, causing violent, blistering wells to break out on her exposed skin.
Close your eyes. Melody, close your eyes. Vladimir, make her close her eyes. Please.
Oh god. Vladimir bit down and forced Melody to turn away from her burning mother's visage. Smoke poured off of Sora's scorching body. Animalistic howls racked her body as she shrieked, unable to bear the pain any longer.
Melody, honey, look at Daddy. It's okay, honey.
The last thing I saw was Vladimir pulling Melody into a hug, holding her head so that she couldn't turn to look at her mother, whose charred skin was starting to slog off from the muscle underneath. I clamped my eyes shut, sickening to the sight of her gruesome death. Even with my eyes shut, my imagination ran riot as a visceral thump reverberated throughout the room. The putrid smell of burning human hair and flesh pushed me over the edge, causing me to gag. Oh boy. Cold air whooshed in behind me as the doors finally opened. I opened my eyes and scrambled towards the exit as fast as my legs could carry me. We all spread out in the corridor, eager to get some breathing room into the horrific execution we just witnessed. Beatrix and Nicholas held each other for emotional support. Shizuka knelt nearby, her body racked by irregular spasms, pulling down the contents of her stomach through sheer force of will. Poor Vladimir. Even though his face remained drawn, his eyes were bright and red from crying, he stood doing his best to hold together for Melody. Oh boy, thinking about it now, the two of them, I guess they technically had like the best chance now since they're not partnered together. You can just go with anyone if like the cards go, so... No matter how hard Vladimir tried to comfort Melody, however, she remained inconsolable, screaming and thrashing his arms in a futile protest against her mother's cruel fate. One by one, we left the two of them alone, unable to endure the sight of their anguish any longer. As we left the area, a voice taunted us through the intercom.
The next round of the Deletion Game begins in 24 hours. Sweet dreams, everyone!
The voting is happening tomorrow. Oh god. Chapter 1. I couldn't sleep. I lay awake staring at the ceiling, my stomach unsettled by my all too recent exposure to the stench of burning flesh. And even worse was, this is all my fault. Don't think like that. If I'd never been brought aboard the ship, Dai's deadly failsafe measures would never have been activated. Sora would still be alive, Melody would still have a mother, and Vladimir a wife. My stomach churned as the images of Sora popped back into my head. I tried my best to forget those gruesome images and replace them with her soft smile I saw just days ago while eating lunch with her. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't escape the sobering reality of the situation. Sora was dead. Silence of the room for what felt like an eternity. No one to talk about that. Suddenly I appeared next to the bed. Her head hung low.
This is my fault.
For what? Reading a tag? Her eyes reflected a sadness I never thought a computer program would be capable of feeling. What? No, it isn't. If anyone is to blame, it's to be me.
My records are quite complete. Throughout human history, many cases have come before the courts in which a person committed a crime but chose to plead insanity, asserting that they were not themselves when they inflicted harm on others.
Okay, so what does insanity to do with this? Yeah, but...
I have footage of people killing others. People who claim they weren't responsible after the fact. Yet these video records confirm, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that the accused were, in fact, the culprits. They have not been altered in any way. It was that person.
This isn't like that.
Why isn't it? It is my programming that is killing my friends, killing my family. I watch you die like you would watch a film. I just watched one of my friends burn through my eyes as a result of my actions. It is my programming. In essence, what makes me, me. So why can't I control it? Why is it conflicted?
I don't have an answer for that. To the programming and artificial intelligence. Do you want your friends to die?
Of course not.
Then think of ways to stop it. Look at me. I raised her head to look at me. If she didn't glow like a star in the night sky, she would have no way of knowing that this face wasn't human. Her eyes glistened, saying that she was about to cry. This has never been your fault, and never will be. It's not yours, Bob, so stop thinking like that. No, I don't want to hear it. You have no control over your programming. You didn't write the code, nor set up its structure. Asking you to control that is like asking me to grow my hair out red instead of gray. I can't change it, and neither can you. Sure, I can dye to try and hide the gray, but in a genetic sense, it's still gray.
I suppose you are right.
However, this does give me an idea. I looked at me for the first time with a hopeful smile. Could an AI feel hope? I honestly didn't know, but her current demeanor was any indication they certainly could.
What is it?
Well, hear me out here. I may not be able to genetically change the fact that I have gray hair, but locating which gene in my genetic map caused me to have gray hair is a whole nother matter.
I don't think I understand your idea.
I think he's basically saying just look around your programming, find the source, and then get rid of it. Eugenics. Oh gosh. Of course, why did I think about this before? I gave me a quizzical look, tilting her head slightly to one side. To say that I have gray hair is one thing, but understanding how and why I have gray hair is another thing entirely. Do you have access to your programming? I figured she would try this point.
Of course I do. However, I cannot alter anything.
I figured. No, of course not. You were designed with a service in mind, programmed to serve at the administrator's behest. So who's the administrator?
Indeed. I am the Artificial Intelligence Unit Everett, model number 11037. I was created for the sole purpose of conducting activities aboard the Everett.
Let's skip over that number. Ai's eyes took on a distant, glassy look as she rattled off her service history.
First served under Captain Ayumu Yukimori, now deceased. Currently serving under Commanding Officer Captain Kimiko Yukimori.
So if you want to ask for any basic, for changing your program, we have to talk to her. Well, I guess at least we have some rapport with her now. Yes, of course. Well, the real question is, can you access your programming without Dai knowing?
I don't know.
Is there a way for you to find out?
I am not sure what her capabilities are.
Okay, do you think you'd try and find out?
How do you suggest I proceed?
I guess test it. For now, try to locate a particular program within the AI system. Just tell me when you find it, and I'll see what I can do.
Very well.
Oh yeah, like, based on what we know about our own about ourselves right now, we should have some sort of modicum of programming, right? This could be the way in. If I can access her programming, I should be able to delete it, or at the very least, disable it. Thank you, I
haven't completed the task yet.
No, I mean, for coming in and seeing me. Didn't know how I was going to get up and face the day, but now, we might actually be able to fix this. Perhaps even prevent any more crew members from going to their deaths. That's all thanks to you, I's face lit up with a smile. For the first time since the execution, she looked just like the AI I first met a week ago. Well, she's getting back her AI spirits. Experiencing the eye in for love. Her smile washed over me and I felt happier than I thought possible given the circumstances. Everything was going to be okay. I was going to make sure of it.
Well, I have duties to attend to before breakfast.
I bowed and left as quickly as she came. Even though my eyes were heavy and my body felt sluggish, there was still no way I could sleep. Enough following and self-pity. Being sad isn't going to just bring back Sora. I promised to fix this, to save her family in the mission. Don't know exactly when we promised like that, but it's a noble thing to think about. The day had started and I was already burning daylight. I jumped out of bed, energized by my now renewed resolve. Time to get moving. Nothing as the day started like. Hot shower, fresh air, might as well fresh as it can get on a spaceship. Well, if you want fresh air, you have to go straight to the source, go get some oxygen, and gulp that down. Like, put the nozzle to your mouth and just like a scuba gear. But I think a shower. As my mother was wont to say, there's nothing quite like a hot shower to start the day, and a cold one to end it. What kind of psychopath ends with a cold shower? I still couldn't wrap my head around the sheer luxury of baths aboard the Everett, having lived in a small shuttle with my parents my whole life. We had access to a basic shower, but nothing like this. Well, I say like Japanese, like, bathhouse style. You can see like the whole band in the back, and you know, think about it, because I don't really want to. Oh boy. Not like this. Okay, I'm already expecting some bad things to happen now. Bad not in the blood way, but bad in the other way. And regardless of this unnecessary extravagance, I felt at ease here. People could make a bath this wonderful on a spaceship. I would have loved to indulge in one on Earth back in its prime.
What prey walks unknowingly into my den?
Yes, I figured. Why did I make this decision? I should have recognized this. Oh god, why did I do this? I swear to cut science Beatrix, how do you move so quietly? You always manage to startle me. Exactly, that's why we shouldn't trust her.
It's a family trait. Both my brother and I inherited from our beautiful mother. She was able to move more quietly than I could ever hope to. Our father used to say that she slunk gracefully.
Slunk gracefully. Okay. Really? It's a family trait? I never really saw Nicholas the type of person who'd stalk people. You learn about being people every day.
Trust me. The only reason you ever notice his presence is because he allows you to.
Not creepy at all. Beatrix threw me a wink. What a strange family trait. Because I haven't inherited anything from my parents. Except... well, I inherited my parents' hair color. Black?
You're cute, sailor.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned gray.
Oh, it's a good thing you're here. I needed to talk to you.
As long as there's anything physical, then yes, sure. What about?
Well, I don't know if you realize this or not, but my brother and I kind of lied to you about our numbers.
No, you really don't think so. Have they lied to me about their numbers? Unless you mentioned it, there was something fishy about yesterday's results. Wait, you tried to kill me?
Well, yeah, but only a little bit.
Only a little bit. Don't worry, only a tiny smidge of death. Don't worry about it. Here's the thing. If since we cared about you so much, we took some of your life essence in, so obviously your spirit was gonna live on. So we wanted you to die a little bit so we could take more of your essence in. Do you understand? What the fuck? No. What the hell?
What? I didn't do anything wrong.
In your eyes. I'd say trying to kill me definitely qualifies.
I prefer to look at it as trying to save my brother from a murderous AI system that you somehow triggered.
Called it! I knew someone was gonna blame me for it eventually. Do you really think that justifies your actions? Beatrix's mischievous expression hardened to a monstrous grimace. Beatrix's eye twitched noticeably as she reproached, her gaze suddenly transforming to a terrifying, intense glare. She was clearly not gonna let me leave her sight anytime soon.
I lost my father less than 2 weeks ago. I wasn't about to lose my brother, too.
Okay, so why try to bring me into it then? Although Beatrix wore her anger plainly in her face, I could sense an undercurrent of sadness behind her abrasive facade. That's the one thing I'm curious about here. Why bring me into this? Why me? Why? I'm sorry. Beatrix was taken back by my response. She may have expected me to argue to hurl accusations at her, but never to sympathize with her. We don't think alike. To be honest, I probably would have done the same thing if I were in her shoes. Of course I want to protect the ones I loved. Yeah, but like, I can completely understand that, and the whole, like knowing about the whole relative thing, I completely understand that, but why bring us along, then just say, we just want to kill you just a little bit, okay? I would have done the same thing if I were you.
Really?
In a manner of speaking.
Hair color.
Beatrix giggled herself, muttering about hair color before turning her attention back to me.
So, what brings you here this morning?
As you so eloquently put it, I want to dye my hair to a gorgeous shade of none of your business. I know this may blow your mind, but I shower. With a shower? I could have sworn we came here for a bath. I felt myself cringe as I finished the sentence. Beatrix looked intensely at me. Didn't look like she'd taken my sassy comment too well.
I think the sexiest thing about a person is their sense of humor.
Okay, time to go completely humorless then. I'm glad I gave you that impression I had no sense of humor at the beginning of this then. I had no interest.
Keep up the good work, sailor.
I am uncomfortable. I will. Well, now if you excuse me, I loved a shower with no one around to look at me.
Don't let me being here stop you.
It's gonna stop me forever. Beatrix didn't move an inch. She stood there, staring at me, as if waiting for something to begin. Okay, time to take a shower. Turn on nozzle. Are you gonna take your clothes off? Who the fuck wears clothes in a shower? I'm not showering for you. No, get out.
Sheesh, someone's a killjoy. If you change your mind about an audience, I'll be in the medical bay.
I do not have a kink for that. At least I don't. Please don't tell me, Bob, you do. Please, no. Okay, sure. Thanks. Okay, thanks. Beatrix in the bath, and I could finally shower in peace. I turned the shower on and faced the shower head face on. The water stung as it hit my face before trickling down my chin. Just a few minutes alone, I found myself wishing that she was still there, making blatant advances at comments laced with sexual innuendo. As I was left to my own thoughts, my mind started to wander back to yesterday's execution. I finished my shower quickly to avoid being alone any longer than I had to. Oh, wait, Oh, I should expect this, like I'm, What was it? Thinking back on it. Probably gonna be a bit disconnected from this game because so far, from what I know about romance, like stories in general, I can't believe I didn't think about this sooner. Usually the protagonists, like, are very almost passive, I could say, in a sense. Like, they always, like, you know, want to get along with everyone, have nothing strong convictions. And from what I learned about, like, writing stories, usually people just want an active audience, and from most of the time I've seen mostly very active and very passive protagonists. And I'm just noticing that, like, I'm so far we don't have any strong opinions against anyone, like a real, like, choose a person romance. I only know of one other game that does that. It's a horror one. I have you guess what that is. It's mainstream. I'm basic. I've barely seen any romance, but it's usually like those weird, like, you know, how weird Ringling Store, like those ones where basically the main pairing. I've only seen a rare few of those, and like it's already like immediately like front and center to choose those two, and usually like, it's like the strong starts wants to bring you like those two together and like have everyone sympathize for that, you know, relationship to form. And usually in these kind of games, we have to choose them. It becomes almost a bit wishy-washy, which I guess is the point, but I guess it won't do it to me, but I wouldn't mind trying to see if I can like get over that. Although I mostly just want to see like how the plot goes, really, because I'm here for the plot. Oh boy.